From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's currently 7:37 in the evening. I'm Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We have a tornado warning in effect now that includes northern Lewis County in Tennessee. So we're going to be here for a few minutes. The warning expires at 8 o'clock. We're going to hold it here either until 8 o'clock or we lose the rotation signature, because this does include one of our viewing area counties. We'll go right to Viper Live Doppler radar here. And I want to say up front that just because we have this tornado warning in place doesn't mean that we're expecting big tornado problems tonight. It's just that anytime you have a severe thunderstorm, you can't completely rule out a stray tornado speeding up. And that's the type of situation we have here. We have a rotating thunderstorm to the north side of Linden, Tennessee, back in Perry County. We have seen a wall cloud with it on Skycam, so we know that the updraft is rotating. We haven't seen confirmation of a tornado down, but it has had a persistent rotation, and the National Weather Service has gone ahead and continued the tornado warning for eastern Perry County, western and southwestern Hickman County, and the county that we're concerned about at Tennessee Valley Weather, northern parts of Lewis County. That's tornado warning until 8 o'clock. This does not include Hohenwald proper. It's only the far northern part of the county. Kimmons, Salem, Gordonsburg, and north of Highway 412, north of Hohenwald. That's the primary concern. You can see the rotation back here just to the north side of Linden. We're looking at the Nashville Doppler radar. The greens you see are winds moving back toward the radar. That's northeast of Nashville. Red is away. So you can see we have the rotation here between those two color areas. That's just a couple miles to the north of Linden, and that has been moving off to the east generally at about 20 miles an hour. We'll speed it up to 30 just to give some heads up here, and I will stretch the duration out to 45 minutes for times of arrival. And we're talking about the Pleasantville area in southwest Hickman County around 7:32, Hornertown at 8:04, Kimmons at 8:09, Etna at 8:13, Salem at 8:14, and Gordonsburg at 8:23. But I think the primary rotation is going to be to the north of Gordonsburg. You're just on the south end of that polygon. So as the course of least regret, if you're in these areas here, I need you to be going through your tornado safety plan now. That's a small interior room, such as a hallway, a bathroom, or a closet on the lowest floor of a site-built structure, away from windows. You want to get low in a small room near the center, away from windows. Cover your head and neck from flying debris. And you can't be in a vehicle as this approaches, and you can't be in a mobile home as this approaches. And if you're in northern Lewis County, you have several minutes to get out of a mobile home and head quickly to some type of sturdy structure that's 5 minutes or less down the road, like a fast food restaurant or a gas station that's open 24 hours or something like that. If you're in northern Lewis County, you have time. But a tornado warning is now up until 8 o'clock for 20 more minutes. This does include northern areas of Lewis County, Tennessee. That's the reason why we're here. It does include southwestern Hickman County and eastern Linden County, Tennessee, but we don't cover those counties. We are giving the information still. However, because we're already here, Lewis County, Tennessee is ours, and we have the tornado warning in place. Again, that's until 8 o'clock. I'll hit the big view here so you can see. Go back to the regular how hard it's raining mode of the radar. Go to Radar Network. And you can see that from outside of this one thunderstorm in Perry County, Tennessee, that's it for the viewing area. We have some lingering showers left over from earlier storms, extending from east of Fayetteville down through the Huntsville Metro to about Eva, Alabama, from Lincoln County, Tennessee, down through Madison and Morgan counties in Alabama. That's shifting east with time. But outside of that, this storm in Perry County, that's it on the radar. So if you're wondering why we're not talking about Lawrenceburg and Waynesboro and Savannah and Columbia and Pulaski and Lewisburg and Fayetteville and the Shoals and Russellville and Athens and all, nothing's close to there right now. It's only this one storm that we have that is north of the Linden, Tennessee area, and that may skirt northern parts of Lewis County, Tennessee. And again, that is a tornado warning. That's not just a severe thunderstorm warning. That is a tornado warning here. That's generally going to run near Tennessee Highway 50, and the rotation is going to be very close to the Hickman and Lewis County line. This is going to be north of Highway 412 up toward the county line between Lewis and Hickman, where we're most concerned about the potential for a spin-up tornado to develop with this as the thunderstorm approaches. I will say that the rotation is a little broad, but we're also looking several thousand miles above the ground level because the radar is way back on the east side of Nashville, and we're looking here to north of Linden, Tennessee. And the radar beam goes in a straight line. The earth curves under it as you go farther out. And because of that, the farther you are from the radar site, the higher the radar beam is. So we're not scanning right at ground level. So just because we see a broad rotation in the mid levels does not mean that it's not tighter in the low levels. So if for no other reason than a course of least regret, even though this is a broad circulation, you still want to take this seriously, especially Pleasantville to Hornertown, to Kimmins, to Etna, to Salem. That's my primary concern for the potential for damaging straight line winds and possibly an off and on spin up tornado here, the area I'm circling. This is off to the north of Hohenwald. This is going to stay north of Hohenwald. The storm would have to take a sharp southeast turn to be any threat to Hohenwald proper, and I don't see that happening. So if you're in the far northern parts of Lewis County, Tennessee, that's the area we're talking. We're not talking about Hohenwald proper. We're not talking about Sweetwater. We're not talking about Providence. We're not talking about the NACO and Napier area. We're not talking about down closer to Summertown. We're talking about that far northern part of Lewis County, Tennessee, to the north of Highway 412. Again, you need to be going through your tornado safety plan until we can get this rotation to weaken and we can get a tornado warning off the board. Going to check National Weather Service chat, see if we have anything new on this, any reports or anything. They do just mention that the storm has general characteristics that look suspicious on radar, and we agree with that. So we do think the tornado warning continuing is the correct call here. Haven't seen any reports in the past several minutes. We'll switch over to the Arctic Air Skycam Network, look from the Hohenwald site, and see what we have on deck. I'm going to need to switch that around and pan to the northwest. So just a second while I get that queued up and ready to go. Let's see. All right. And we have a clear view of the updraft base, it seems. So let me center this up in the screen here. Now the camera tilts a little bit, and then also, yeah, there we go. And from time to time, it may have an issue or two with focusing, but here is a live look at the updraft base back in the Perry County. This is the rotating updraft base that we're watching here. You see the striations in the updraft. We do have a lowered base out of that. Notice that we don't have anything that looks like it's on the ground at this time. That's a loosely organized wall cloud, but you can definitely see that the updraft overall is rotating here. So we're going to be watching that over the next few minutes and see what we see. See if anything tries to come down out of that. But again, we're looking off to the northwest from Hohenwald here on the Arctic Air Skycam Network. Back toward the rotation, it's on the northeast side of Linden, Tennessee, coming up on Pleasantville in the southeast part of Hickman County. And from there, it's going to approach Hornertown, Kimmins, Etna, Salem, and north of Gordonsburg. Again, northern Lewis County, Tennessee, southwest Hickman County, Tennessee, in the eastern areas of Perry County, Tennessee, under a tornado warning until 8 o'clock. The county that we have out of that is Lewis County. This does not include Hohenwald proper. The reason why you see the name Hohenwald on the screen, that's where the camera is located. That does not mean you're at threat. This threat is going to stay north of you. We're looking from Hohenwald back northwest in the Perry County, where we have this rotating updraft here and the potential for possibly a quick tornado to develop out of that. I will say still on radar that the rotation is broad. Hasn't tried to tighten up, but at any time it could try to produce a small tornado. So we'll go back to the radar. I will watch that behind the scenes. I have that pulled up. Should any significant developments with that happen, we'll go back. But you can see you have the overall general rotation here coming up on the Pleasantville, Tennessee area along Tennessee Highway 50 now. And again, that's moving off to the northeast, to the east, at 25 to 30 miles an hour. So we'll do another track ahead of that and get some times of arrival here. I go up to 33, 34, give some extra lead time here. And here are the times of arrival for the communities that we think have the higher threat. And this would mainly be southwestern Hickman County and then northwestern areas of Lewis County. Pleasantville, time of arrival for the rotation is at 7:50. Hornertown at 8:01. Kimmins 8:07. Etna 8:10 and Salem 8:15. Again, the tornado warning only goes until 8 o'clock. And if this continues to stay broad, we continue to not see signs of a tornado developing on the ground, they may convert this over to a severe thunderstorm warning. Haven't heard anything from the National Weather Service yet about that. But they are good about not holding a tornado warning in place if it looks like the rotation isn't going to tighten up after several radar scans. They're good about trying to reduce the false alarm rate as much as necessary without threatening safety. So we'll see how that goes. Here are the times of arrival. Pleasantville 7:50, Hornertown 8:01, Kimmins 8:07, Etna 8:10, and Salem at 8:15. Again, a tornado warning still up until 8 o'clock. This is for the northern parts north of Highway 412 in Lewis County, Tennessee. That's our viewing area county involved, and then still continuing for southwestern parts of Hickman County, Tennessee, and eastern Perry County, Tennessee. That also goes until 8 o'clock. We're just up to just past 10 minutes on the warning, so we'll see what happens. I could see this going either way because we do have an updraft rotation here. So I could see them holding the tornado warning and reissuing it. I could also see them downgrading the severe thunderstorm warning since this has stayed broad, has not tried to tighten, and we have eyes on it and we know that nothing is down. So this could go either way here. So we'll be watching that over the next several minutes. Let's see. So we'll see how that goes here. Again, this is the only severe storm we have affecting any part of the viewing area, and it's not actually in the viewing area yet. It's just prompting a warning because it's approaching the viewing area. We don't have any other storms in our part of southern middle Tennessee. We don't have any other storms down into North Alabama or Northeast Mississippi. Earlier, we had those severe thunderstorms moving through North Alabama. We had several reports of damaging straight line winds, knocking down trees and tree limbs and causing power outages in Lauderdale and Limestone counties in North Alabama. All those storms have weakened and gotten off the board. We're watching the evening storms to the north now. And the tail end Charlies, what the nickname of this is, I've been saying Tennessee Highway 50. That's actually Tennessee Highway 100. My road sign wasn't on there, and I apologize for that. All the communities I was calling out were absolutely correct here, but that's Tennessee Highway 100 that runs through there. Again, Pleasantville to Hornertown to Kimmins, Etna, and Salem. That's the main concern. It's north of Hohenwald. It's in relatively rural population compared to the Highway 412 corridor, but if there's just one person living there, it's important to give that alert. The Polygon, the tornado warning area, does go as far south as Gordonsburg, but I think the rotation is mainly going to stay off to the north of there, and we'll see what the National Weather Service does over the next several minutes. We'll go back to the Arctic Air Skycam network and see what we see from the Hohenwald, Tennessee camera. Again, this is in Hohenwald, looking back northwest. And I will say that although the updraft itself is still rotating, the wall cloud out of it, not quite as organized looking as it previously was, which is the good news because we don't want this organized because we don't want a tornado down. So having something just ragged looking there and not really concentrated into one immediate area and showing strong rotation, that's a good sign that we're not seeing those things. But still, the overall updraft is rotating, so we're going to have to watch this carefully. And we still have tornado warning up for just a little under 8 more minutes. And then that includes northern parts of Lewis County, Tennessee, southwest Hickman County, Tennessee, and eastern Perry County, Tennessee. Fred Gossage here on the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel with live extended weather coverage as long as we have the tornado warning in effect, or as long as there is a danger from it. I will say that the rotation is maintaining itself on the radar, and it's coming up on Pleasantville, Tennessee now along Tennessee Highway 100. And that's going to be headed through Pleasantown toward the Hornertown area. But we know that at this moment, there's not a tornado down with this. It's just the storm is rotating. But because the storm is rotating, there could be a tornado at just any moment. So that's why the tornado warning has to stay in place. Should the rotation get more unorganized, we may be able to step down to a severe thunderstorm warning. We're not to that step yet. So I can't rule out a tornado warning here being extended on past 8 o'clock. We'll see how that goes. I'll show you the watch warning map so you can see that nothing else is on the board for our immediate area. You see the red polygon here, that's a tornado warning until 8 o'clock for northern Lewis County, southwestern areas of Hickman County, and then eastern parts of Perry County in Tennessee. That's flashing red. That's the tornado warning. You do notice that north of our viewing area, there is a severe thunderstorm watch into the overnight from Perry and Hickman counties and Williamson County, and then Rutherford County in Tennessee north. That's all north of our viewing area. None of our counties are included in the severe thunderstorm watch. The better chance of severe storms this evening and overnight is off to the north of our viewing area, but we can't rule out a couple of additional isolated warnings into the overnight in the early morning hours as the storms sink down into the area. They will be weakening with time, but just because they will be in weakening mode doesn't mean that they still can't produce isolated damaging winds. And as you can see, even though the tornado threat's extremely low today, it's not completely zero. And you can have a stray tornado warning or two, even when the tornado threat is extremely low, like it is for today and tonight. Have not seen any reports come out in this area yet, which is certainly good news. We don't want reports of damage. And we've had eyes on it here on the Skycam here that it hasn't produced anything down on the ground since we've been watching it. I'll go back to the Skycam. And overall, you just still have the lowered cloud base and the loosely organized wall cloud here, but no signs of anything on the ground at this time. You do see some rain wrapping back behind where that wall cloud is. You see the updraft is in rotation, but nothing on the ground as of how it looks right now. Still haven't heard from the National Weather Service what they're going to do with the new warning. Again, this tornado warning expires at 8 o'clock. We're waiting to see whether they reissue it as a tornado warning or if they downgrade it to a severe thunderstorm warning. We will know here within the next few minutes because they're going to have to make a decision here within the next 4 minutes because the warning expires in 4 minutes. So here until 8 o'clock, we have the tornado warning up. This does include far northern and northwestern areas of Lewis County and Tennessee, in addition to southwestern areas of Hickman County. I will say now that the rotation has moved out of Perry County. So Perry County, even though the polygon hasn't officially been cleared out of there, the rotation's moved on past you and you can come out of your shelters. The broad rotation is over Pleasantville, Tennessee, on Tennessee Highway 100, heading off to the east at about 25, 30 miles an hour. So it's going to be in Hornertown over the next few minutes. We'll do another storm track with times of arrival from just ahead of the rotation. And we're talking about time of arrival for Hornertown, Tennessee at 8:05. It's going to be near Kimmons or just north of there, near the state line in north, county line in north at 8:11, near Etna at 8:13, and near or just north of Salem at 8:19. There's a very real potential that the rotation may stay just across the county line over in Hickman County and not cross into Lewis County. But it's so close to that northern part of Lewis County that the correct decision was to put northern Lewis County in a tornado warning as this approaches. We're going to know here within the next minute or two what they're going to do at the National Weather Service. So we'll see what they're going to decide. The National Weather Service guys in Nashville have noted that the tornado warning storm here that we're watching has begun to weaken a little bit and disorganized. So they are in the process of making up their mind whether they're going to reissue the tornado warning or pull it back at 8 o'clock. We'll know here within the next minute or two what they're going to do. Still stay in your shelters north of Hohenwald near Kimmins, Salem, Hornertown, Etna, and Pleasantville until we get the tornado warning off the board. But I can say that this has not been on the ground that we know of so far. We'll go back to the Arctic Air Skycam network. And yeah, you just have a really loosely organized updraft base here, not showing any signs of dropping a tornado at this immediate moment. It's just the updraft itself that's in rotation, and it is starting to get more elongated looking now, and that's more of a look that you would expect more from gusty straight line winds than you would at least an imminent tornado threat. So we may see them pull this tornado warning off the board. We'll see what they do here over the next minute or two. Again, this is the only warning for any part of the viewing area. You can see the watch warning map in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. You can see the county lit up in red, Lewis County. That's the only one we have. Weather Service has mentioned that they are going to let the tornado warning expire, and they're going to replace it with a severe thunderstorm warning here. So we are going to step away from a tornado warning and down to a severe thunderstorm warning here at the top of the hour. So we will wait. Yeah, the structure of the storm on radar not as organized. So even though there's a broad rotating updraft, it doesn't really look like an imminent tornado threat anymore. We'll hold it here until we get the new severe thunderstorm warning information so we can pass that along instead of ending the update and then having to come right back. So we'll hold it here for a couple more minutes until we get the severe thunderstorm warning. We'll summarize that, and then we will end the live update here since we'll no longer have a tornado warning. But again, at the top of the hour, this tornado warning will be replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning because the tornado threat is lessening with this storm. We're just waiting on the severe thunderstorm warning to come across the wire here. Should be any second. I know this is going to include Hickman County. We'll see if they bring it down into northern Lewis County or not. That's really what I'm waiting on, checking here, and why we're holding it here for a couple more moments, because it looks like, and they are going to bring it down into northern parts of Lewis County. We'll get the polygon on the board here in just a second. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Hickman and Lewis counties in Tennessee until 8:30. They have put a tag on it that says a tornado is possible. What that means is it's not imminently trying to produce one right now because the rotation is broad. It hasn't tried to tighten up. What that is, that's a tap on your shoulder to let you know that it's broadly rotating. If it tries to tighten up, then they may have to upgrade back to a tornado warning. It's just not at that place right now. Tornado warning is now no longer in effect for Lewis or Hickman County. So I want to make that clear. Tornado warning is now gone. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for a large part of central and southern Hickman County in Tennessee, basically from the Coble area, Fairfield, Dogwood Flat, Centerville, and southward in the county through Pleasantville, Hornertown, Etna, and Maple Spring, and then for northern parts of Lewis County, Tennessee. But this may stay mainly north of Lewis County. I want to make that clear. This may stay just to the north of Lewis County, but it's the right thing to do because it's so close. Kimmins over to Salem, a new severe thunderstorm warning that runs until 8:30. This replaces and downgrades what was previously the tornado warning. This is still to the north of Hohenwald, and it's moving to the east. It's not dropping down toward Hohenwald. We'll take one more look at the Arctic Air Skycam network and look at our updraft base here. Yeah, this thing is flattened and broadened out now, not looking like a tornado threat. So we'll continue to watch things carefully. Again, this has been downgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:30. Should any additional warnings be issued, or if the rotation tries to tighten up, we'll be back at a moment's notice with live coverage as necessary. Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.